Hey, Scott here with my review of the iPad Pro 12.9 version 2. This is from an artist's point of view, and for full disclosure, I've never owned any Apple products before. I've always used Windows and Android devices, so just keep that in mind when it comes to my opinions and knowledge in this review. Also, this is a short-term review after only about 4 weeks of use. First off, my reasons for buying the iPad Pro. Especially if I'm already a Windows Android user, why would I buy an iPad Pro? I wanted a replacement for my Cactus Wacom Cintiq 13 HD companion hybrid. Rest in peace. At first I tried a Samsung Galaxy Tab A 10.1 2016 and also considered a Surface Pro and tried a Surface Pro 4 for a while. The Samsung Tab S3 came out and I was disappointed. It only had a 9.7 inch screen, and also in Australia was fairly expensive for the hardware you were getting. I was very reluctant to buy an iPad Pro, but after heaps of research and trying them out in various stores, I decided to take the plunge and purchase an iPad Pro. Pros and cons. I'll start with the pros. Powerful. I believe it's a more powerful device than Android tablets available for drawing and painting. The iOS apps are close to Windows software compared to Android apps. If you take into account Procreate, and Procreate 4 is coming out soon for iOS 11. Paintstorm Studio, which is a very nice painting program that's very similar to Corel Painter, and Affinity Photo. Also with Autodesk Sketchbook, the iOS compared to the Android version is more powerful. You can have larger canvas sizes, there's more brushes available, and a better interface. Great display. The screen is fantastic, bright and clear. I also like the form factor for drawing and painting. If I have the iPad Pro on my lap, in landscape orientation, the screen is still tall enough to draw portraits easily. Apple Pencil. The Apple Pencil has very little parallax, hardly any lag that I could notice. Good pressure sensitivity, activation levels and tilt works nicely depending on the software or brush used. Feels the best out of my digital pens that I've used for drawing and painting. Although there was a short transition time, it has a different feel to Wacom, N-Treg and S Pen. N-Treg's probably my least favourite stylus. It kind of has a floating cursor when you move your pen around, which is a bit annoying, and also a grip slip feel on the glass, like it's very inconsistent. Also, I didn't like that you needed more pressure for the activation of your strokes, which affects light sketching. My Wacom stylus, funnily enough, after using the Apple Pencil for a while, feels quite loose. There's movement in the nib, like it sort of rattles around, and there's definitely more parallax. Battery life. For a device this big and powerful, it's quite good. I get around 10 hours. I've got more than that as well. But I think that would come down if I was using larger files and more intense brushes, say like in Paintstorm Studio. They'll probably reduce the battery life a bit, which I haven't fully tested that out yet. I also don't have the screen brightness set very high. I think some people that complain about the battery life might be having the screen too bright. I'd rather have it lower. Artist tool. It really has surprised me how good it feels to draw and paint on. I have all the art tools I need on the iPad Pro. I really just need more time to see what it's fully capable of once I get the hang of it. Cons. The big one is, and most people will say, price. That's probably why I didn't think of the iPad Pro immediately and why I bought the Samsung Galaxy Tab. At first it does seem very high, but after purchasing it and seeing the performance and functionality for creative work, I consider it isn't that bad. Price obviously doesn't include the Apple Pencil or the keyboard, but if I was going to buy a new Surface Pro, your asking price is already more than the iPad, and you have to buy the stylus and the keyboard if you want a keyboard. Battery powered stylus. The Apple Pencil has a battery which needs to be charged. I was getting about 12 to 14 hours before it needs recharging. You can either plug it into the iPad Pro, and a lot of people complain about that. I don't think it's a great idea, so I normally use the charger. It comes with a little adapter which you can put on the end of the pencil and plug into the cable and the charger. And that brings me on to the actual charging, which I find a con, slightly overlooked by Apple, I think, where they only supply one charger and one cable. So you have to, either charge your iPad Pro or charge the Apple Pencil. Everyone goes on about, you can plug the Apple Pencil into the iPad Pro to top it up, which is fine, but if you want to fully charge it, it's a lot quicker on their charger itself. So it would have been good if they had maybe an extra USB port and you had two cables, so you could plug it into the power and plug it into your iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil at the same time. Or just the Apple Pencil itself didn't have a battery, or the battery in it lasts a lot longer, so you're not constantly charging. Also, recharging on the iPad Pro 12.9, a lot of people complain how slow it is. It's not an issue if you can leave it overnight and charge it, which is what I normally do. But if it's 50% and you want to use it the next day, then it's going to take a while to charge. The way around it is to get a USB-C to Lightning cable and a 69-watt MacBook charger, but that's at an extra cost. My last con would be the Apple ecosystem. It's not an issue for people that already have Apple apps, but for me, because I've come from Windows and Android, I had to buy Apple apps. There was one app I didn't have to rebuy, and it's Autodesk Sketchbook. I already have a yearly subscription, and the good thing about that, it allows you to use it on Windows, Mac, iOS and Android. Overall, I'm very happy with my purchase. It's taken me just a little while to get used to iOS compared to Android, but it's not a huge jump in between. And I have been using iOS 11 Procreate 4 beta, and this device definitely enables me to create artwork the way I want to create artwork. I can easily screen capture, edit video, audio, and upload it to YouTube, Instagram. I've been using it more than my desktop, especially for screen capture stuff. It's just a lot easier inside like Procreate 4 and even Autodesk Sketchbook. I hope this review has been some help. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Have you already bought an iPad Pro? What size did you get? Did you get the 10.5 or the 12.9? How are you finding it for creating art? Thanks for watching.